Then another thing I'd like to cover is sometimes it is our, we enter into some kind of a suffering because of our faith and for our faith and obedience. Okay? And the question is, when we are disappointed in certain things that happen to us, what is our reaction? Will we decide to turn bitter towards people, bitter towards God? Or do we turn to God for peace and courage? Another recent happening in my life, that recently I completed a contract of 1.5 years. And then a few months before the contract was completed, I was on my way on a 2-hour flight journey. And then this person beside me, he actually revealed to me a bad news. He said, actually, we found out that we over-budgeted in our payment. So for the 1.5-year contract, I was to work a certain amount of time and effort, and I was supposed to be paid so much on a monthly basis, spread over 1.5 years. And then he said, we made a mistake. We over-budgeted. And so he asked me for my reaction. Would I simply allow a clawback, or would I want to fight the case? And so it was a hard decision for me to make. And so, upon trying to find out from him how this carelessness took place, resulting in the over-budgeting for my remuneration, I then prayed and I asked God, I said, what should I do? And the word I got was something quite difficult for me to do. And God said, just give it back. Give it back. And so by the time the plane landed, I told this person who was responsible for my project, and I said, okay, I will give it back. And so a month ago, I actually signed a check to pay back. And you asked whether it was hurting to me, whether it was grievous to me. Yes, for $37,000, I consider it a big loss. So I'm not sure how you would feel, but I was quite upset about it. But because it was a word from the Lord that says pay back, I knew that I had to willingly do it. And so when I shared this with my men, when I met up with them, usually I would ask, is there any good news to share? And so everybody will share good news, and I always share good news. I always have good news to share. But in this instance, I felt that I also have to share bad news, and to see how God is in the picture, even in bad news. And so I shared because I felt that it was going to be edifying. I shared. And then one of the members said this, and he spoke it all. I was given Psalm 112, verse 6 and 7. Psalm 112, verse 6 and 7 that says, surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. They will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. So when we walk with God and trust in His goodness, no matter what, we will not be afraid of bad news. Because in that seemingly bad news, when God is in the picture, it is never a bad news. Only time will tell. And for me, I'm confident that God will compensate me in one way or another. Why? Because I obeyed what He said. God will compensate me. And today, I'm sure many of you here are also suffering some kind of losses. There are some kind of losses that you suffer because it's through no fault of your own. It's through careless mistakes of others or whatever, you have suffered some losses. And know that when you look up to God, God can restore it. So today I'm asking, can we consider this year as a year of Jubilee? And in the year of Jubilee, God provides that splendid restoration far beyond what you can imagine. So claim this Claim this year as your year of jubilee, that God will restore whatever that you have lost, that God can simply restore it.